I feel like everything we're going to talk about, like you said, being more intentional is self-care and giving back and taking care of yourself and your spirit and your culture and your people. So we're going to focus on that over holiday. And our whole thing is not really to try to sell, but try to give you value that you would pay for, right?
Welcome to Healthy, Sexy Nutrition with me, Michelle Fox, culinary nutritionist, health coach, and your host for this podcast. I teach busy professionals how to get more nutrition in their bodies and how to have more fun in their home kitchens. If you struggle with consistency, or sometimes forget to make your needs a priority, or you avoid planning your meals, you, my friend, are in the right place. Join me each week for inspiration to increase your energy, discover new recipes, manage your hormonal woes, and so much more. You are a busy professional, but that does not mean your nutrition should suffer. You deserve to live in a body and have a life that you love. So let's dig in. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to introduce you to my good friend, Doni Aldine. This woman needs no introduction, but just for my friends who may not be aware of this powerhouse, let's read her bio. So, Doni Aldine is recognized by Folio as a 2020 Top Women in Media honoree. She is a globally mobile Afro-Latina and first generation North American who, by the age of 19, lived in and identified with 7 cultures on 5 continents. Doni is passionate about creating community, and that's why we're girls, for cross cultural populations. She has presented around the globe as a keynote at conferences, universities, and in media as a lifestyle expert focused on entrepreneurship, marketing, and cross cultural identity. With this background, Doni developed university curricula for global culture identity and founded Culture's Global Multicultural Lifestyle Network, which uses media products and experiences to embrace 21st century cultural diversity. Because, as she says, and another reason why I just love this woman, everyone should feel like they matter. So, Doni, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh
That
my
was so
goodness.
heartfelt. You
Yes.
had me, I was listening like I didn't know. Thank you.
Yes, and that's why, you need friends like me to remind you that, yes, you are amazing, and I'm glad we have the words to say it, but I'm so, so thrilled to have the privilege to share some of your wisdom and beauty and community with my community. So thank you
Thank
for being
you.
here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad to be on with your community. This is awesome.
And for my friends who are watching this podcast on YouTube, just know the lights might go on and off. We might talk about why later, probably not, because Donnie and I have some juicy topics to discuss, which mostly I really want to dig in with you about holiday shopping with intention. But before we get all serious and into our spirits and into our hearts, I want to bring a little bit of laughter with some rapid fire questions. Are you willing to play?
Yeah, yes, I'm willing. I'm all girl, I'm always willing to play.
And that's why I love you. Okay. So, sweet, salty, or savory?
Can I have all three? I
For
want
you, my
all
friend?
three
Yes.
at the same time, no less. You know me, I'm all about indulgence, sweet, salty, and
Mm.
savory. I actually just made, whew, roasted pepper, roasted tomato, roasted garlic soup. And the seasonings I used, it was very savory. And then I put roasted apple on top with bacon and drizzled it with honey and had some mineral salt, not like the next level pink salt that has minerals that really put back into your body. So it was sweet, savory, and salty all at once, and just absolutely delicious.
And Michelle Fox culinary nutrition approved. That sounds amazing.
It was good. It was good. It was all the things.
Nicely
It was many
done.
colors. It was all the nutrition. It was not, I mean, of course, all healthy ingredients. Coconut oil I roasted with, and lots of garlic, lots of herbs. It had all the good things. All the goodness was in that soup. It was delicious.
And I'm salivating because I'm about to make dinner as soon as we stop talking. So I might use that for some inspiration. Thank you. Okay, three more rapid fire, which,
Okay.
rapid fire between you and
It's gonna
I
be
don't think
like
anything's going to be
it's like
fast.
it's like the sloths in Costa Rica, man. Okay, I'll try to be better.
No pressure. Okay, next question. This will be an easy one for you. Inbox 0 or inbox 10,000?
Oh, girl, there's no inbox 0 in my world. I think I have
Mm.
179,000 unopened emails at this moment.
Oh,
I figure
shoot.
if I miss
Okay.
it, if it's important, it'll get sent again.
It's I'm sure that people know how to find you, right?
This is true. They know how to find me too well, which is why I have so many emails. When you have that many emails, I mean, I don't, there's no way. A quick story, because I know it's supposed to be rapid fire, but when I was in the office, one day I left the sound on my computer, and my door to my office was locked so nobody could get in. I don't know how it got locked, but it was locked. So when I got back to the office, everybody was like, because it ding, 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 like all the notifications. And I would always tell them, look, stop sending me emails because I get too many. I can't keep up. And so I was cracking up. I'm like, so do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what it's like to get all of that? So yeah, I don't know how anyone could have inbox 0 when you get that much communication. Yeah. So my
Yeah.
thing is, if I missed it, then if it's important, they'll come back again.
Love that about you. Okay, favorite movie of all time?
Funny Girl with Barbara Streisand. Yeah.
Love the Babs. Love
Fanny Bright.
her.
Yes.
And then last question, one of your favorite childhood memories in the kitchen?
Oh man, I gotta make sure my mom hears this. Well, first of all, my mother is a chef, and she's Trinidadian, and she's an amazing cook, amazing cook. So I don't cook, like, cooking isn't my thing, but I do enjoy it, and I love food, and I cook well. I usually don't do recipes. Whatever's in the fridge, like, I throw something together. That's how I made that soup, right? But my favorite childhood memory, my mother made everything from scratch, and we had a garden, we grew things in the garden, whatever the case may be. She made cinnamon swirl bread for breakfast one day. Oh, I still remember it. I still remember it. Man, that she put
Mm,
it was fresh cinnamon. She ground that sucker. She made the bread from scratch, rolled it up, put it in the oven, came out all golden brown. In my head it's melty, but I don't remember us using, no, we did put butter. Actually, we did put butter in, but it was delicious. Delicious. As is everything she makes. But I remember that still. And I think I was 7 or 8 years old.
and do you think it was the taste of it, or was it because it was so different from something that she treated you all to? Like, what was
No,
the
she made that stuff on the regular.
Oh,
But
oh,
I
okay.
remember that particular time. She made homemade bread all the time, and when I went to college in Germany, I remember I made bread every week. So I think it's a comforting thing, eating that, and I'm not a big bread person, but bread is delicious, right? Like, when I have it, I love it, and when it's fresh and you just made it, and when it's with quality ingredients, because I do feel like the ingredients for food in Africa and Asia and South America, all those places are different than the ingredients in the United States. And so how it's processed by our bodies is also different. So everything she made back then, even when you think of the United States of yesteryear and all that, food from scratch that and ingredients that were wholesome, it was a feeling. It was how the warmth of the bread, the beauty of the swirl, in which, because she didn't always do like a fancy thing like that. I don't know, all her food was fancy. This was extra fancy. So yeah,
Hmm.
it was just like the whole feeling of family. It was me and my brother and my mom, of warmth, of caring because she made this thing from scratch before I went to school, and she had a job. She
Mm,
used to
mm.
walk both ways to work. She didn't have a car for decades. Well, maybe not decades, years, so that we could have the best of everything. She walked an hour and a half to work and back every day. Still
Oh
made
my
bread for us when we
gosh.
left.
Oh, that is love right
Yes.
there.
Yes,
That
yes,
is
yes.
love. Well, and thank you for mentioning that food and ingredients are different around the globe.
Yeah.
As we said in your bio, you have traveled literally all around the world. Not a lot of people can say that. And so I know you have experience because you pay attention to nutrition and what you're
Yeah.
putting into your body. What are some of the things that you have noticed, just on a high level? I know there's a lot, but on a high level, what have you noticed as far as being different than the United
So the
States?
grains are very different. Even here, I have to really work hard on my digestion, right? For a
Mm,
long time, I didn't eat grains, but for 3.5 years, I really didn't eat grains, and it helped tremendously. But it wasn't sustainable. So now I have them every few days, but boy, it's hard for me to digest them. But when I go to South America or Africa, no problems with the grains. I remember when I was in
interesting.
oh yeah, when I was in Switzerland and I had the best yogurt and nothing, it did nothing to me, right? Whereas I don't have that much problem with dairy, but here it's a little bit of digestion issues, but not issues, but you can notice that you had it. Like you feel heavier, right? Had it in
Yes.
Switzerland, had milk in Kenya, nothing. Everything is fine, right? Just feeling very light and airy. So, and a lot of people who travel, they talk about that. They talk about how they eat things that they normally can't eat here and how they feel different. And now that I'm older, I mean, y'all, nobody tells you you get to 50. I think you talk about it and you talk about menopause and hormones and nutrition and the gut and all that thing. No, they don't tell you 50's like this. I'm about to be 53. So a lot of people talk about losing muscle and things like that before 50. And I know a lot of people it happens to in their 40s, their late 40s. It didn't really hit me until 50, but 52 is when I noticed it. Like muscle wasn't staying on like I was used to. um, as you can see, I'm very energetic. I have
Yes, always.
I
Ever
teach
since the day I met you, yes.
I teach at or used to teach at university for the last 11 years, and even the 20 somethings, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with you," or "Where how do you get all that energy?" It's because I eat well and take care of myself. But I did notice at 52, right? Like, when you work out really hard, I didn't even know this was a thing until I hit 52. It's called the DOMS, DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. And now I
Oh,
was a major athlete when I was younger, and of course, you're
right.
sore the first, few weeks when you're really hitting it hard. I'm talking about like high level working out, right? But now when I do that just once or twice, well, not once you do it consistently, you're good, but you start a program, and I didn't have soreness. I had this low level malaise, and I couldn't figure out what that was. Actually, green drinks helped me with it as well, very tremendously, but it was the DOMS, which I'd never had before, and that's something that happened as I got older. So, I feel fortunate that I'm not that I did fall off that cliff, but it turned out there was a ledge there. I was okay.
Oh, good, you
I'm
survived.
okay.
Yes, I know you. Pop right back up.
So no, there was a ledge there, but I have to pay attention like I didn't have to pay attention before. And digesting the food is probably the biggest issue that I've really had to see. And so for me, it's grains. I think for everybody, it's a little different. It just depends on your body. So
Yeah, well, I talk a lot in my programs how the wheat here in the US is not the same wheat that our grandparents were eating.
it's true.
One,
It's
because
true.
the chemicals that are being sprayed, but two, because the soil has been turned so many times, it's been
Yeah.
depleted a lot of the nutrients, which is
Yes.
why I personally believe everybody in the US is gluten intolerant.
Mm.
I know people disagree, but I find if you can just eliminate the gluten, so many of these issues just disappear. Now, totally different subject, but because we are in the holiday season right now and you have amazing products, I would really love to just invite my community to shop with intention. And
Yes.
so, can we talk a little bit about that? Namely, some of the things that you sell and or curate that can bring us more self-intention and self-love and self-care, but
I would
also
love
just what you're seeing in the industry about
yeah.
shopping with intention.
No, I'd love to do that. So, as you know, I am head of cultures, which is a global multicultural lifestyle network. And we focus on people who are in between. So, in between the multi-ethnic, multiracial, mixed race, and globally mobile, like immigrants, refugees, or third culture kids, which is what I am because I grew up globally. Part of, with the important thing of all of those populations is you're culturally fluid and geographically mobile very often. Even if you're a person of color in a majority situation, your fluidity comes with code switching throughout the day and becoming what you need to be at work or out in public and being different when you come home, whether you have different ethnicities at home or different racial makeups at home that you and different cultures that you work with. And so having to be on all the time and having to switch like that all the time and not necessarily always be quote unquote yourself, it's really important. Self-care is very important. Living with intention,
Mhm.
making sure that you're paying attention to your mental, your spiritual, your physical being. And so that's what we think of when we talk about shopping with intention. So it really has
Mm.
some mental health components, some spiritual health components, as well as physical being components to it. So for cultures, we all of our products um are created by our team and they're amazing. So every destination that we go to, so of course we have the magazine, which you see the magazine back here too. And this is
Wait,
the
and for our listeners, the magazine again is called
Cultures, the global multicultural magazine. So you'll notice there's no E in cultures, and that stands for the hidden diversity of our population, right? So we
Love
have
It.
a globe there in place of the E, but we really pay attention to people of color. So you see right here, there's a native cover, here's an Asian cover, here's another one. This is a Kenyan Filipino couple that I just saw in Kenya. And right now it's the year of Latin America for us to honor my father, who was Costa Rican and unfortunately passed of COVID. But anyway, he's part of this whole live with intention, right? And really take care of yourself, nurture yourself for the things that you need physically, mentally, emotionally, because we're all coming out of lockdown, really. Like we're all
Yes.
coming out of states that we didn't even really understand how much they affected us. And probably over the next few years, we'll start to see what that looks like. So this Christmas season, we should pay attention. So every issue of the magazine, we have a destination. This one was for Destination Kenya, as you saw the cover with the Kenyan Filipino couple. And every one of the things we have is a membership where we bring the globe to your door. It includes
Ooh, tell me more about that. That sounds
yes, yes,
amazing.
yes. So it has the curated content from the magazine, which tells you about all these people who are in between cultures and how they are thriving with their in
Mm,
betweenness. And then we bring you the all natural bath and body created here in the Rocky Mountains, lots of organic ingredients, essential oils, so heavenly, feels so great. Bath bombs, body scrub, everything to really take care of yourself inside and out. Next,
I
we
love
have our
that.
Symphony of Life planner system. So as
Ooh,
you know, you talk about this all the time. This is one of our covers, right? And
gorgeous.
actually, these are pens. Michelle used to know me back in the day when I had another company, and this was called Pen Floors. And people have been asking us to make some custom for their Symphony of Life day planner covers. So life is a symphony, play it well. And that's what this is about. So our day planners are for you to live with intention, to plan as you do your meals, plan your
Yes.
plan your days. Doing that really keeps you focused and make sure that self-care is a win for you. The great thing about Symphony of Life is it's broken down by what you need. So if you're a super mom or a superhero that has a number of schedules to track in a day, we have a planner for you. If you're a techie and you only use your phone and you don't want to write your appointments down in your planner, we have a planner for you. I personally use the Zen when I'm getting a little out of control. I actually go back and forth to the different styles. We do have a traditional that I often use, but I just, because it's fourth quarter and things are busy, went back to the Zen, which shows you visually work-life balance. So when you're getting out of
Mm,
balance, you could say, okay, I need to go work out today, or I need to meditate, or I need just 5 minutes to myself, or I just need to smell a nice candle to bring me back, right? I need to take off my shoes and ground myself with the earth, just walk in the grass or in the snow as we'll have soon, whatever the case may be. So that's what the Zen is about. So that's our symphony of life planners. And then we have culture celebrations, which, as you talk about nutrition, we have healthy foods that we create a dinner party kit in every single culture that we go to. So you get the magazine in our membership kit that comes to your door 4 times a year, and then you get and that has the destination in it. Then you get the bath and body that embodies the destinations, brings you the feeling and the sight and the smells of that destination. Then you have the dinner party
Mm.
kit where it gives you everything to send invitations to your friends, gives you the recipes and videos on how to make them. So you can have a cultural dinner party as well in your own home. And then you also get, oh, how could I forget? Oh my gosh, our hidden diversity greeting cards. I actually wasn't even expecting to talk about this, but I always have all these items close to me. But our
Yes.
hidden diversity greeting cards, we have a whole line of greeting cards. This one says Global Soul.
Oh, so beautiful.
And
For my
yes,
listeners, it's a gorgeous card with two brown hands looking like they're giving grace to a, is that a dandelion? Beautiful
yes, it's
flower.
growing through the mud.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, that
And
is
it says,
powerful.
quote from Pico Iyer is a person who has grown up in many cultures all at once and so lived in the cracks between them. The
Mm.
dandelion is coming up through the cracks. This one says, being cross cultural is to be divided into many places. And the gentleman who's also brown, this guy actually happens to be Mexican. One of our Mexican staff members drew this. She lives in Merida, Mexico, and she went to grad school here in the US. And here's the mountains and the ocean. So she's split between those places where she grew up and also lived and studied. So you
Oh, how
get all of those
powerful.
things to bring you together, but then also to ground you and to remind you of who you are, and to keep in touch with your heritage and the importance of family. So everything that we do really focuses on that, and it focuses on people of color. So I think that's something though that you could take to all of your shopping for the holiday, right? That to have that intention to take a moment instead of getting caught up in the frenzy and Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and I got to do this. To just take a moment, take a deep breath, whether it is just breathing very deeply, whether it's doing a few seconds of yoga, a little stretch when you feel out of
Mm.
sorts. As I said, grounding your feet, taking a bath. Oh, our bath bombs are amazing. And that's what got me through the pandemic. I stayed in my home 13 months by myself, no human touch whatsoever. So I'll tell you,
Oh, Donnie.
yes, that tub was like a hug, a warm hug every night, right? So those
Mhm.
little things are really important, and some people see them as extra, some people see them as luxuries, and I feel whatever works for you as the necessity that brings you back, then that's a necessity for you. That is what keeps you whole, and then taking that intention and using it every day, including at the holidays, is what's important.
I love that, and what I especially love is that these gifts are created and curated for the individual, and so everything you've said, I'm like, "I want that, I want one," and I'm already thinking of 3 girlfriends that I could buy this for as well, because 'cause I'm like, "That could be an amazing gift to receive," and so hint, hint, wink, wink, anybody listening, feel free to send your girl some of this stuff because that sounds amazing. But but to be real and truthful, I do truly encourage people to go. Please tell us, where would people go to shop for some of these
So to
items?
keep it easy, because we're in a lot of places in
Okay.
stores around the globe, but the easiest place is to go to culturesmag.com. So again, without an E, cultures is plural, CULTURS mag.com. And you can go to our shop and you'll see all of the items. We're going to have specials over the holiday for our membership, which is 4 times a year, every quarter, getting the globe delivered to your door. We explore a new culture. We give you all the goodness to stay in touch with yourself and with cultures around the globe, as well as the products that help you stay grounded and keep that intention. So, through the holidays, through the beginning of the year, and all year round, you make sure you're taking care of you so you can take care of others.
Mm, preach. Actually, can you say that last part one more time? I think for the people in the back who
For
really
the
need to
people
hear
in the
that. Let's hear
back.
that one more time.
Take care of you so you can take care of others. It's so funny because
Amen.
we at this point that seems and I've been saying that before it was even a thing because I was a columnist for the Denver Post and I don't know if you remember I had a column called Enrich Your Life and it wasn't popular way back when gosh that must have been 20 years ago by now to say things like that. Now it's super popular. You hear it everywhere, but it's not trite. It's really important. I even with a staff of almost 100, I see it all the time and I realize when I don't make the tough decisions for them, it ends up affecting them. Sometimes the boundaries I keep, they might be frustrated with me in the moment. It's like, I need your time. Well, no, here's a boundary because I need some space. That space allows me to be a better person, to come show up better, to have a better attitude, to treat them like they deserve to be treated, not to be short or frustrated in the moment. Or even, when you don't give your full attention to someone, you might not notice it in the moment. They might not notice it, but you both feel it, right? It would
Yes.
always be your best and to show up it with 100%. You've got to give back to yourself. You've got to have those boundaries. And those are reasons to tell people, it took a while to train my team. I'm like, "Look, I started saying, I'm doing this for you." And then they wouldn't say anything after that.
Wow. So before we wrap this up, I am just dying to know the nosy Rosie in me. With all of your curated packages, which one is your favorite baby as far as the experiences you've curated?
Oh, wow, that is a good question. That's tough. Kenya's up there, but they're also good. I wanna say Ciudad de Mexico right now because it's the one that's coming out now. So, the
Mm,
short answer is probably the one that's most recent because the memories as we go through and with the locals and do the cooking, the authentic cooking, and we make the videos and we come up with the packages and we do the designs and we figure out the scents and we try to recreate the experience. So, the memory is what makes the most recent one the best. But I would have to, but I'm Trinidad and Costa Rica. We have Costa Rica coming up. We just did Trinidad. Trinidad was a special one. But we're gonna do Trinidad again. So I'm gonna stick with Kenya. Kenya is my favorite so far. Yes.
I love it. I will be sure to check it out. Wonderful. Well, this has been so amazing to talk to you. Thank you for making the time because you are literally one of the busiest people I know. So, thank you for this time. Is there anything else you want to share before we close?
This has been wonderful. I love what you do. It's so interesting. I was thinking to myself, I like my again, I back to the story with my mom. She's talked about health and nutrition since I was little. We didn't get to eat sugar. Shoot, I didn't tell you the story about the one Halloween I got to go to and how I made that candy last for a year. But
I love it.
it's hilarious, but, so I think I always think to myself that I'm really good at this, and I am, but every time I see your reels, every time I hear your podcast, I'm like, "Okay, as soon as 4th quarter is over, because holidays crazy, and I have to set my intentions and keep boundaries to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, but I plan to be in one of your classes. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so fun because I really wanna see you what you're talking about with the planning. That's one thing I don't do is plan my food. I might plan it when I'm making it, like what I'm going to make, but I don't plan for the whole week because it's just me, right? And
Mm,
so I really plan out how I store my food so that it stays fresh for a long time, that kind of thing. As I mentioned,
nice.
I just look in what's in the refrigerator. I'm going to do this today. But yeah, I would be interested and I'm always opening to learning and doing new things. So I'm excited.
Yay! Well, I can't wait to have you in one of my classes. Although you and I might be giggling the whole time, so I'll
I'll keep my
have to
mouth
really
shut.
ground myself.
Keep my
But
mouth
you
shut.
are the best. So tell us again, where can people come find you and your amazing products and your beautiful magazine?
They can come to culturesmag.com, TURSMAG.com, and they'll find all the things there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Thank you for reminding us that we can bring intention to this holiday, especially bringing intention to our self care and taking care of our bodies. You, actually, I probably don't tell you enough, but you have been an amazing role model for me. I remember back in the day, you were the one that introduced me to yoga, and that was over 20 years ago. So I have you to thank for a lot of these parts of my journey. So thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up for our community. And thank you for putting your intentional message in all the things that you do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thanks so much for listening to Healthy, Sexy Nutrition. Have you been driving, doing laundry, or walking around the neighborhood? Sweet! I've got show notes for you at michellefox.com/podcast. Click over there when you are ready. I will let you know that on the page you will find resources to support what you just learned on today's show. And of course, you can grab some health supportive freebies as well. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so honored if you would leave a review on whichever podcast platform you are listening on. It will help me with my mission to build healthier communities, one person at a time. Big love from your favorite culinary nutritionist and health coach. And until next week, keep showing up for yourself and know that you and your health matter. You deserve to live in a body and have a life that you love.